Hi guys, this is GSN.com and I'm here with a review of the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. Yes, indeed, we have it, and we're here to review the big version of the Galaxy S9, the 6.2-incher. So this is the phablet version of the handset. It's the version that has a dual camera at the back, capable of bokeh and so much more, and we've already unboxed and handled the device in hands-on right when it was launched at the Mobile World Congress 2018. It was announced on February 25th. It started pre-ordering then, and it arrived to the lucky customers on the 16th of March. It's a glass and metal phone with a dual camera with a brand new AR Emoji, stereo speaker, super slow motion, and it's priced at around $840. That's the starting price, at least in USA. Time for the review, so let's start off with the design. First of all, curved glass at the front, curved on the side, as you can see, curved glass at the back, also curved on the sides, between them a metal frame. The metal and glass sandwich is here. Now it's got 85% of the Galaxy S8 Plus looks, let's face it, but with a smaller bezel at the bottom, slightly smaller at the top, and pretty much the same narrow bezels on the sides. It measures 8.5mm in thickness and weighs 189 grams compared to the predecessors 8.1mm and 173 grams, so heavier and also a bit thicker. It's surprisingly comfy because it's very narrow. I can easily reach any area I want without feeling like I'm gonna drop it, basically like on the Galaxy Note 8, but somehow even comfier. It's got a pretty good grip, it doesn't slip from my hand, and the black version kind of draws prints, grease and dirt. And now other than that, the buttons are comfy, but I noticed that the power button is very noisy. Not sure if you can hear this. Let me get this closer to the mic. I am pressing it right now. Anyways, you get the gist of it, so rather noisy power button. Other than that, reasonably comfy buttons, and the phone is also IP68 resilient to dust and water. I would say that it's a good thing they moved the fingerprint scanner from the side to below the camera. Still not the comfiest in the world, I would say, because it's a very narrow area and not lifted enough for my finger to reach it. If you want to talk about color choices, well, we've got black, blue, gray, and my favorite, lilac. I'm totally loving that hue, too bad we didn't have it. So I'm enjoying this design because it's a very immersive phone, doesn't slip from the hand, and it's easy to wield even at such a big diagonal. And the jump is basically the same one as the one from the Galaxy S6 to the S7, the same but refined. Now on the display front, it's Infinity Display 18.529 Super AMOLED 6.2-inch Quad HD Plus 2960/1440 pixels. It's immersive, it's got HDR and always on, 529 ppi density, and for the best experience I felt the need to download the Samsung Video app because I simply like it too much. And now let's enjoy one of our test videos, and the Samsung Video app comes with a few extras. So first of all, let me fit this onto the full screen. We got the pop-up view, we got the function that lets us make a GIF, and that's pretty much. So as you can see, we got superb colors, totally crisp, excellent brightness, wide view angles, deep black, very immersive on account of the very narrow bezels, excellent contrast, so basically nothing to complain about. Plus we have a lot of tweaks, so if you do complain about something, you can change it from the settings. Okay, so we're done with the actual viewing experience. Time to go to the gallery, see what's happening there, because there we keep all our test results. This is what the screen looks like under the microscope. The pixels have a pentile matrix arrangement. Then we go to the brightness test, and indoors we achieved a level of 450 lux units. This is by taking the brightness level from the phone all the way up, 450 lux. If you put it on auto and go outside, the sun may take it to 600 lux or even more. I've seen that happen before. Now with this result, we're able to surpass the Galaxy S7 and the iPhone 7 Plus, but we scored below the Galaxy S8's 522 lux and also below the Sony Xperia XZ. And now be prepared for a huge amount of settings. We go here to the display, and we got the following. We got your brightness here, we got the auto brightness, we got your blue light filter, we got the font and screen zoom. There's a screen zoom that goes from small to large. There are the font size and font style, and the list goes on. We got the famous screen mode available on Samsung phones for so many years. Adaptive display, AMOLED Cinema, AMOLED Photo and Basic. You can see them changing. You can see them becoming warmer or cooler. Full screen color balance, cool or warm, and advanced options with sliders for red, green and blue. As I told you, Samsung offers a ton of options. Sony does as well, but Samsung has more. Okay, screen mode checked. Resolution. By default, the phone comes with Full HD Plus enabled. You can go to the max WQHD Plus, but that will probably drain the battery faster. Home screen options, quite a few of them. Layout, grid, apps button, app icon, badges, add apps to the home screen, quick open notification panel and portrait mode only. This is a new feature, so you can let the device be used in landscape mode even in the home screen and apps area. Okay, screen resolution, full screen apps. You can choose which apps will benefit from the atypical aspect ratio and full resolution. There is the easy mode for the people who are beginners in the smartphone world, icon frames, and the edge screen, you know, the famous one which you pull from here. It includes widgets, shortcuts. You're familiar with it for about 3 or 4 years now. LED indicator, status bar, navigation bar, screen timeout to block accidental touches, which is very useful, and video enhancer, which you can actually feel. And finally, there is the always on display with quite a few, I would call them watch faces, actually face widgets. There's a clock style here. There are many of them new compared to the Note 8 or Galaxy S8. You can change the type, you can change the color, you can see what's happening on the lock screen, on the always on display. You can even show a picture, face widgets, music controller, day schedule and more. And that's about it for the screen. I'm very happy with it. I'm happy with its immersivity, brightness, contrast and deep black. Okay, with that out of the way, it's time to go to the other specs. I'm talking about the CPU. Qualcomm Snapdragon 845, or the version we actually have is the Exynos 9810, and it's a 10 nanometer octa-core CPU. It's got the Mali G72 MP18 GPU. There's 6 GB of RAM here and 64 or 256 GB of storage. In some areas, even 128 GB are available, and a microSD card slot which supports cards of up to 400 GB. As you can tell, there's no lag happening here. Didn't happen at the first boot, didn't happen when you were updating and installing stuff. Basically, it shouldn't happen for about 2 or 3 years. And now, of course, the games look amazing, and check out what we played. So to do that, we actually have to go and look for stuff. Okay, so we played from the game launcher here. We got Final Fantasy 15, the latest one. We got Riptide GP Renegade. We got PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So the best of the best. I'm going to pick Riptide. Although, believe me, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds looks badass on this phone. I'm going to show it to you maybe at some point. Okay, and quick race. Choose the unicorn. You can tell from the fluidity of the menu, we're dealing with something truly special. The problem with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is that it depletes the battery seriously. A 20-minute session is basically 20 or 30% battery lost. It's still PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds with a kick-ass graphic. Nice frame rate though. In that game, we can easily pull off 60 frames per second. And here too, I'm guessing, although it's an older game, should get a follow-up soon. Loving the frame rate, the brightness, the texture, everything, lighting, whatever. So for gaming, it's a perfect device. Too bad there's no direct video output, so you can record your sessions. You have the DeX pad for that. We also did benchmarks, and sadly we have many of them, so it will be hard for me to get my bearings here. As you can tell, we have a lot of stuff going on. So we got your Velamo, we got your Basemark, your Geekbench, your speed test, and of course Antutu. This is Antutu 6, and here we managed to beat HTC U11 Galaxy Note 8, but scored below the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 8 Plus and the iPhone 10. Basically beat all the Android phones, but scored below the iPhones. Now, we also did the 3D Mark tests, the slingshot ones, and here we're able to achieve a score that beats the Galaxy S8 and the Google Pixel XL, but scored below the HTC U11 and the Sony Xperia XZ1 Compact. Geekbench 4, well, that happened as well, and in Geekbench 4 we were able to score basically above all the Android phones, but once again below the iPhones 8, 8 Plus and 10. Okay, so proceeding further, I have to mention that we also did a GFX bench test, and we placed on the first spot second or fifth, no lower than that. It can basically beat all the Android phones, but it's beaten by the iPhones from last year. Performance is excellent, it's certainly future-proof, and now it's time to talk about the temperature. Okay, we have it here, and the first temperature test is this one. We achieved 34.4 degrees Celsius when playing the game Replay GP Renegade for 10 or 15 minutes, and after running the intensive benchmark GFX bench, 38.9 degrees Celsius. There's no overheating, just in case you were wondering. Okay, and now it's time to talk about the battery. On paper, things are hugely familiar. Why? 3500 mAh, that's what we got on the Galaxy S8 Plus last year, and the S9 Plus follows the same recipe. It should offer us up to 25 hours of talk time, up to 18 hours of video, or up to 15 hours of Wi-Fi internet usage. Let's cut the theory, let's go to the practice. I'm talking about screenshots again, and we did the continuous HD video playback time. Once again, it will be hard for me to find it because we have so many captures. Okay, so basically we were able to achieve a continuous video playback time of 12 hours and 35 minutes. That's how long you can watch videos on this phone. This beats the iPhone X and HTC U11, but scores below the Xiaomi Mi 6 and also the Galaxy Note 8 and also the Galaxy S8, and by the way the Galaxy A8 2018. So while 12 hours and 35 minutes sounds okay, it gets beaten by quite a few phones. Now I'm pretty sure where to find the other test, the PC Mark I, which simulates continuous usage. Finally, so 9 hours and 11 minutes of continuous usage, it's okay, but not impressive nowadays. We've come to expect 10 hours or 11 hours from modern flagships. I would say that it does beat the Huawei Mate 8 and the Google Pixel 2 XL, but it's below the Galaxy A8 2018 and the Galaxy S8 and the Zenfone 3. Now, we also did another special test. People wanted to see more from this phone, and in that one we achieved 7 hours and 25 minutes. That one involved YouTube Full HD playback with 4G on and Facebook and WhatsApp in the background. So with that you get 7 hours and 25 minutes. Not the best phone in the world, but around the same value as the Galaxy S8, give or take 10%. Basically, rather take than give. For a modern Android phone, it's reasonable. The iPhone X is not very far behind. Charging is okay. It's 1 hour and 48 minutes. It doesn't even compare to the huge record of the Galaxy S6 Edge Plus, which was crazy, 1 hour and 5 minutes. So 1 hour and 48 is just okay. It's better than Nokia 8 and better than the Galaxy S7. That's about it. By the way, after 1 hour of charging, you're at 68%. I've seen phones do 80% of that, so it could have been better. With the glass back, of course, you also have wireless charging, and we also have special settings for the battery. We go here, we go to the battery, and we got power saving modes, which include off, mid and max. Select one of them and tweak it. We got background network usage, always on display, speed limiter, decrease brightness, and other things to tweak, so you can get more juice out of the battery. The max mode takes things to a more draconic direction, limits the speed, uses a black background and so forth. We got a quick way to optimize things, we got advanced settings, app power monitor, fast cable charging. So overall you could squeeze more juice from the battery, but I was expecting slightly more, to be frank. Now on the acoustics front, the novelty is we are finally getting the dual stereo speakers. One at the top, the earpiece, and one at the bottom, this one here. So 2 speakers, stereophony. Finally, the Galaxy S8 and the Note 8 had single speaker, but it was loud. And the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus resort to stereo speakers tuned by AKG and also with Dolby Atmos in the mix. Once again, not happy with the stock option Play Music. I installed the Samsung Music app. I simply love it because I love the interface and because it shines all the way around when I'm listening to music. I know, sounds like a child, but I love that feature. And let's see the famous tweaks. If you thought that Sony had a lot of tweaks, guess again, Samsung has more. There is Dolby Atmos with some sub options, auto, movie, music and voice, self-explanatory. We got the equalizer with genres, a few of them, 2 knobs, bass, treble, instrument, vocal, and 9 channels to customize. If you're an audiophile, you should handle them. UHQ upscaler. This phone supports up to 32-bit music, Tube Amp Pro, Concert Hall, and you can find the best sound for your age range. as time goes on, you'll hear lesser frequencies than the youngsters from what I've heard. And now it's time to actually listen to some music. As you can see, it shines, and now let's turn on the music. We can draw some conclusions. The sound is very loud and very clear, very happy with that. Excellent bass, no vibration at the back, no distortion, good highs, good lows. And I would have to say it still doesn't feel much louder than the S8 and the Note 8. The stereophone is excellent though. If you turn on Dolby Atmos, you'll feel the sound going all around the phone, so the surround and stereophony is real. We of course did decibel meter tests, we never forget to do those. And let's see what happened in this case. So we achieved this level here. Let's see which one is first. 86 decibels. This happens at the bottom of the phone with our acoustic sample, 86 decibels. And at the top of the phone we had 79.8 decibels, which is a bit underwhelming. But with this value here, with 79.8, we surpassed the iPhone 8 Plus, but score below the Motorola Moto G5 Plus. With the other value, with the 86 decibels, we were able to go past the LG G6 and the Galaxy Note 8, but score below the HTC U11 and Galaxy S8. The one that matters the most is this one, 87.9 decibels, which was achieved when playing Riptide. This is kind of low. We usually see phones going past the 95 decibels mark. It beats the Sony Xperia XZ Premium, but scores below the Galaxy Note 8, and by the way, the S8 was superior by 5 decibels at least. Okay, so enough with the acoustics. It's strange that on paper with the decibel meter, the speakers sound like a bit of a failure, but in real life, you heard them, they're excellent. And this is the pair of headphones. They're tuned by AKG. They look pretty nice. They're comfy in the ear. AKG inscription on them. Comfy once again, but in the end, they're less loud and have a less impressive bass than my own Apple EarPods. Believe me, I connected my Apple EarPods to the Galaxy S9 Plus. Surprise, surprise, more bass, more volume. Other than that, I love the isolation of the background noise from them, and that's about it. So in the end, it's strange. In real life, you're happy with the experience. On paper, decibel meter, not quite. Let's talk about the camera. So, dual back camera on the S9 Plus, 12 megapixel and 12 megapixel. And at the front we find an 8 megapixel shooter with autofocus and f1.7 aperture. Now at the back there's a lot of stuff happening. So first of all, this one here is the wide angle camera. 1.4 micron pixels, dual aperture, goes from f2.4 to f1.5, faster than you can say f1.5. 77-degree field of view, optical stabilization for both of them, both of the sensors. So this is the main one, the same one from the Galaxy S9, revolutionary and brand new. And the one at the bottom, 12 megapixels, telephoto lens, 1 micron pixels, f2.4 aperture, and this cam is able to shoot 4K 60 frames per second video. There's 2x optical zoom, 10x digital zoom, live focus for the bokeh, and let's breathe a bit because those are a lot of features. By the way, you can not only take bokeh shots with the back camera, you can take bokeh shots with the front camera, virtually of course, with a selfie focus. Starting up the camera, which by the way you can also do by double pressing the power button. So here we go. Of course we have Bixby Vision, we have the Rubik's Cube. We're taking snaps very fast, and we can pinch to zoom like this, or you can use the shutter like this to zoom with its own slider. And then there's also the 2x optical zoom for instant zoom and excellent level of details. Now the thing I don't like here is the fact that they gave up on putting all the modes on a screen. The modes are now offered via a slider, vertical slider on the left side. I have to say I'm not quite loving it. So let's take the option one by one, but before that I have to say focus is crazy fast, picture taking fast, fluid zoom, and that's about it. So auto, there's live focus, so you can blur the background with this slider, you've come to know it. And pro mode is also pretty cool, lets you tweak white balance, exposure, autofocus or focus, shutter. This one here is the effects, ISO, metering, and you can also choose to shoot stuff with, let's see, yes, save raw files, and you can edit them after tweak the exposure and so forth. We got panorama, we got the food mode, and we also have the super slow motion, which is the 960 frames per second video capture. It's a new feature, we've seen it before on Sony phones, basically the same, but it lets you tweak the final video, add the background music, and also lets you either capture a bunch of slow motion frames or choose a whole one in once. Okay, we got the hyperlapse mode, which is basically time-lapse on the go, and the new feature is AR Emoji. With this here, you can create a representation of your face. These are some of the guys I've captured and tweaked, so let's create my emoji. It's trying to find my face. Okay, also capture the camera in the mix. I'm going to choose male, next, creating my emoji, put this aside. You can create masks. I can put glasses on him, I can change his clothes, I can change his, or better said mine, skin tone, tweak the eyes, the hair, the color of the hair, and so much more. Eyeglasses are available, new clothes, and that's your guy, which you will be able to use even in messaging. So right now there is this guy created here together with a series of other emojis, and I can actually send them via message. So I go here, if I try to write a message to someone, choose this guy here, select, and come on, start. Now if I want to write this guy, I press here, and voila, this is me. Those are emojis created after me. So that's how you create a bunch of stickers using your own face with AR Emoji. And by the way, that's not the only thing, you can also have fun with it. So you can use a mask of yourself and see it moving in real time. Let's see that happening here, AR Emoji. So right now I'm talking to you, moving my lips. I am going to shut my eyes and open them one by one. I can do that with this guy. Strangely, it does not detect me putting my tongue out, but it can detect the fact that I am speaking and moving the eyes around. Okay, so this guy here, more feminine, and of course you can also apply masks. Right now I'm being a bunny. Hey guys, GSM Dome, moving the head to the sides, and this weird little fellow who looks a bit arrogant. We can also take white selfies, do the shutter focus and so forth, selfie focus, whatever. Okay, as you can see, the interface is rather sensitive. You'll go to the selfies by mistake a lot of times by swiping the not okay way, and that's pretty much it. There's HDR in the options, there's 4K video capture, there's tracking autofocus, super slow-mo, multi-take and single take, and that's about it in the options area for the camera. Well, actually that's not it. I want to do a bit of a mea culpa. We have something more here, so we go to the camera. Forgot to show you the famous Bixby Vision. Let's check it out, see what's happening here. We got a Rubik's Cube, so it can translate text in real time, quite fast and efficient. Not exactly in real time, but you get it. You can identify images, objects, and so forth. It's a Rubik's Cube for sure. You can identify places, usually point it at the bottom and tells you the street. That's nice, my location. It can identify bottles of wine and scan QR codes. So that's Bixby Vision in a nutshell. Okay, enough with the theory. I'm sure you want some practice. So let's go to the gallery, because we have 499 shots. We messed around with stickers, selfies, daytime, nighttime, multiple cities, and let's see what came out of that experience. So first of all, I have to say this. During the daytime, results were top 3 of all the phones we've tested ever. These are some close-ups of flowers. They look pretty amazing. Details wise and color wise, you'll find no better than these. Okay, so then we actually go outside. We see the first signs of spring, and then we start cooking. That's what the food mode is all about. And then we go outside again. The day was a bit cloudy, got sunnier afterwards, and the level of detail is simply stunning here. You usually get this amount of detail out of a 19 megapixel or 23 megapixel shot, not a 12 megapixel one, so it's crazy. If you thought the Note 8 had good details, well, this one actually beats it by a crazy amount. So incredible level of details. I'm also happy with the colors here. They're calibrated, well, exactly how your eyes sees things. That's how the phone will see things here. So it's amazing when it comes to the details and the colors. It's selfie time, and color me unimpressed, because while the selfies are rather okay, I've seen better than this on the Sony phones. I've seen better than this maybe even on the Galaxy A8 2018, so not very impressed. And some of them were even blurry, which you are not allowed to pull off in 2018. So I would say the iPhone 10 takes better selfies, also the Galaxy A8 2018. And here we messed around with the crazy zoom. So this is the church. We start zooming in and in and in, and the level of detail goes simply crazy. This is 10x zoom and things are still clear. So up until now, the colors and the details make this device a bit of a champion. These are the clouds we were dealing with, and you can see here it's a raw capture, so you can totally edit that 20 megabyte file on your PC. We also have landscape shots, which look pretty hot. Then there's a nice way to capture a sunny area and a darker area. Some phones have problems with the dynamic range, not this one. And finally, some colors. Some objects here, excellent clarity, focus. We started playing with the bokeh, should see it soon. As you can see, background is blurred, the front is highlighted by the blurred background. So as you can tell, we're very happy with this. You can choose the wide angle camera or the close-up camera, and you can also refocus after the fact, adjust background blur from here, and you can see the effect of the bokeh and the dual camera. Okay, discard the changes, even more shots. As you can tell, we have a huge amount of them. I'm sad that the selfies didn't pan out. Actually, part of me wanted them to be better, but that's about it. I'm not saying it's a bad camera for selfies. Selfies are okay, but the background is a bit too blurred and the sky doesn't look good at all. Check out the sky behind me here. It's overexposed and burnt, and the face texture is okay, the color is okay, but I've seen better, to be honest. Another sample of the whole bokeh thing happening. It feels like it's happening better than the Huawei Mate 10 Pro, or about on the same level. Here I am with stickers and crazy masks applied to my face. So that's about it on the camera front. Top 3 for sure, and if you really want to make it shine, you have to use the Pro mode. Maybe with some tweaks you can achieve better results than I did. With a combination of Pro and RAW, you can pull out the best of it. Now I would have to say that overall it feels like a 10% bump in quality from the Galaxy S8, certainly more details, certainly better colors, and bokeh is always a plus, plus the AR emoji, you can also add that. And that's the daytime. We also have nighttime shots, so here we go. These are low light captures. It was during the night, 1 AM or 2 AM, and things are very bright. They come with a cost. If you're using f1.5 aperture, things are not as clear and pleasant as they are with f2.4. The flash is okay, it does not drown the image in white, as I've seen on other phones, so that's nice. So very bright image, natural hues, the flash is okay. Things are a bit yellow, but once again it's a natural yellow, it's not a strange one. The street light halos have a reasonable size, they're not overblown. We see some reflections here and there, but nothing serious. And the zoom remains crazy good even during the nighttime. Check out those details. That's the statue, that's the top of the statue, and the zoom is a whole new level. Now if you're going pro mode and RAW, you'll be more than happy with the results. And we have something interesting to show you here. So we go here and we have this nifty comparison. So f1.5 aperture versus f2.4. Here you have more light but lesser clarity. Here you have less light but clearly better clarity. Just look at this shot and look at this one here. This one is more pleasant for the average user, and you can see how the camera opens to let the light go through. That's probably the best explanation you have from f1.5 and f2.4. This is the f1.5, this is the f2.4. It's basically your choice, more light or a better looking shot, pleasant to the eye. So when you're comparing the f1.5 achieved on auto with what a Galaxy S8 can achieve, you'll probably choose the S8 over the S9 Plus. And here we go, another example of the crazy details. That's the actual distance I was at from the church, and that's what the zoom can do, so I rest my case here. Now, once again, if you're checking out auto mode shots taken at night with this phone, you will prefer the Galaxy S8 Plus. If you're using the Pro mode and know how to use it, you'll prefer the Galaxy S9 Plus, and that's about it in the photo section. The selfies do need a bit of work. Now it's time to go to the video area and see how we did there. Now, as far as the video recording is concerned, I'm going to skip straight to the video app because that's how it shows our captures better. So as you can see, we have quite a few of them, even some with the front camera. So I'm going to start off with the stabilization test, which should be, let's see, should be this one here. Okay, here we go, stabilization test, and so far so good. I would say it's a bit above the Galaxy Note 8, which in its turn was quite good, but also slightly below what the Sony Xperia XZ1 offered last year. It offered excellent stabilization. I also feel this is superior to what the iPhone 10 or iPhone 8 Plus offered. There we could see a bit of flicker, not serious, but still not as good as the Galaxy S9 Plus. So basically on par with the Note 8 or even a bit above it. Keep in mind, we shot those videos on a pretty cloudy day, and let's see other results. So we have Full HD capture, we have 4K 60 frames per second capture, looking pretty amazing and very immersive thanks to the screen. We managed to catch the sky in pretty nice fashion. We also shot Full HD 60 frames per second videos, and let's see something more colorful like this clip here. My only objection regarding the colors of the video capture would be the fact that the blue is too vivid. It's exaggeratedly vivid, while the other colors are kept natural. So too vivid blue, and of course, as you can see, excellent level of zoom. You can zoom in all the way to the max and the details remain excellent. Perfect focus, perfect exposure and all that. Of course, we also tried out the slow motion thingy, and this is one of the results. You can actually go and tweak the video. You can edit it, add the soundtrack and make it appear more stunning. Too bad that it's 720p, and on the PC the resolution is not that impressive. Now we also have here the video editor thing, and this is one of the clips we did. Emotional soundtrack, and you can see here an ant moving in slow motion behind a flower. If you really look closely, there's the ant sneaking behind the flower. Okay, so that's what you get with the slow motion. We have several other clips, worry not. We have birds flying around. And then slow motion happens. Pretty impressive, I know, but Sony also offered that last year. Let's see another video. Once again colors, once again too vivid blue. I'm happy with the brightness, the focus, the exposure, except for the hue of blue. Everything is picture perfect here. Great colors, great clarity, fantastic details, and also solid selfie video. In spite of the fact I'm not liking the sky behind me, it's totally burnt, a bit overexposed. Stabilization is, I would say, reasonable, not the best in the world, but still reasonable, so vloggers could appreciate the phone basically. The microphone is also quite good. I recommend you check out our videos on YouTube, videos we shot with these cameras, and I would say the microphone is good enough for concert recording. Overall, when it comes to the video capture during the day, I would put this phone in the top 3 all time compared to the iPhone 10, iPhone 8 Plus, iPhone 8, Galaxy Note 8, Galaxy S8, whatever, basically top 3. The iPhone 10 catches a better blue, the Xperia XZ1 better stabilization, but not by a huge amount. Compared to most of the dual camera phones, this is certainly a better stabilizer of the image. And once again, great microphone and superb details. These are daytime captures. Let's go to the night time. So during the night, the streetlight halos are reasonable in size. I would have to say that the brightness is pretty solid. Excellent zoom once again, very fast focus, nice exposure and change when that's needed. Some reflections here and there would be bothersome, but not very serious. And we also have an object tracking test, which is this one here. We see a car passing around, we focus on it and we track the object perfectly. When we start moving around, there's a bit of flickering, but nothing major. I would say this is superior to what the Huawei Mate 10 Pro offered, and it's clearly superior to the Google Pixel 2 XL, which had a much warmer yellow to the point where it became bothersome a bit. It's brighter, it's got less flicker than the Galaxy Note 8, plus extra details, and it would basically fight the iPhone 10 on par when it comes to the low light video capture. It's certainly top 2 or top 3 once again the nighttime captures. Overall, a very solid camera, an incremental upgrade from the Galaxy Note 8, especially with the software features, so basically 10% jump from the Note 8 and also 10 and 50% jump from the Galaxy S8 Plus. Now that we're done with the camera, let's talk browser. You can resort to Chrome or the Samsung one. Okay, so let's close this up and open up gsmdom.com. Here we go. We're using Chrome right now. As I said before, you could easily resort to Samsung Internet, the internet browser. I would say the scrolling is quite fluid, and I have to admit I am loving this keyboard. Numeric row, there's no swipe here, but I love the spacing of the keys. I feel that it's a bit better than what I saw on the iPhone 10. Now when it comes to the connectivity section, this is a dual SIM phone. You can see written here, it's the Duos version, so it's got 2 SIM slots. So the setup is a hybrid one, so you can either use 2 SIMs at the same time or 1 SIM and 1 micro SD, for example. There's gigabit LTE available here. There's 4x4 MIMO, LTE category 18, Wi-Fi A, B, GN, AC. There's also MU MIMO, Bluetooth 5.0, NFC, USB Type-C port at the bottom. The audio jack is still here. GPS, Galileo, GLONASS and Beidou will take care of your positioning on the globe. And then when it comes to the calls, we have excellent volume, excellent clarity, and things were very, very loud when chatting with people. There's also Wi-Fi calling, which is always recommended to us here. In the top section, you can see here Wi-Fi calling. Okay, other than that, we also did a bunch of speed tests, and let's see how those panned out. So go here, gallery, and we should be able to find them pretty soon. Some of the results we achieved on 4G plus and also on Wi-Fi. So basically on Wi-Fi we got to around 411 megapixel downloads, 25.2 megapixel uploads. I would say we're doing fine. And when it comes to the 4G, we got to around 106 megapixel downloads, 59.9 megapixel uploads. So things are looking quite swell. Now when it comes to the software, you will not find many differences compared to the Galaxy S8, Note 8 or S8 Plus. It's still Samsung experience, this time 9.0. It's applied on top of Android Oreo. It still has the edge options and shortcuts and widgets and so forth. And we only have minor hue changes. That's something you may notice. Some icons have changed and some colors. We have new clocks for the always on display. And if you want to do multitasking, we got a carousel, but also something new. It's called the list view, which is quite fancy. So if you surpass the number of apps which makes the carousel look hot, you can use the list view. And another thing, you can pin an app or a part of an app on an area of the screen and keep using the device. Select done, then you keep using Chrome like I'm doing right now. So you're doing multitasking with an app that's been pinned to the top. There's also pop-up views, so you can resize the window and keep doing your thing. Of course, split screen, I'm playing with it right now. Split the screen in two, which also should work in landscape. Speaking of landscape, as I mentioned before, one of the novelties on the S9 and S9 Plus is the fact that you can rotate in landscape the home screen and also the app section. Okay, still talking about the software, we're done with the multitasking. If you keep the home screen pressed, you got your wallpapers, you got your themes, which are quite good looking. And then we got your widgets, once again with a lot of white background and the very narrow edges. Then we got the home screen settings like grid, apps grid, layout and so forth, plus the portrait mode if you want to get rid of the landscape rotation I showed you before. Now to the leftmost area we find the Bixby home screen. Basically this is an aggregator of content, news, visited web pages, music, themes, videos and all the content that gets fed into the phone and data via a variety of apps. They're tweaked here. Got my Bixby, voice apps and services, tutorials, settings, and Bixby actually gets smarter as you talk to it. There's still a Bixby physical key here on the side, and if you keep it pressed, it tells you info. So let's go. What's the weather like?
Looks like it's a cloudy day with a temperature of -5.
Okay, so we got that. Who was Stephen Hawking? Okay, so it has Wikipedia integration. Other assistants would have told me directly, and also it's a bit slower than Alexa, Siri, Cortana even, and Google Assistant of course, plus not as natural in language as them. So Bixby, it's still not a top 4 material among the assistants, sadly. So that's Bixby in a nutshell. We saw Bixby Vision already in the camera area. Yes, I know the aggregator is cool. We got some suggestions in the drop down section every once in a while, so not bad, but still Bixby as an assistant, not that impressive. The drop down area includes notifications, quick settings on 2 windows, got secure folder, smart view, edge lighting, Dolby Atmos and more. And speaking of edge lighting, the edges of the phone will light up when the phone is face down to notify you of calls and things like that. It should also light up when you're gaming or watching a movie. When it comes to the actual settings, we have a ton of stuff. Connectivity, sounds, vibration, there's no disturb here, touch sound, vibration feedback, answering and ending calls, smart alert, there is notification, block, allow or prioritize, display, wallpapers, themes, and advanced features like smart stay, games with the game launcher, yes, still available. Then we got the one hand mode, the finger sensor gestures, basically you swipe your finger on this and you'll be able to pull down the drop down bit. Quick launch camera, doing this, press it twice in quick succession, and that's the gesture you're going to use. Okay, and then we have the device assistants, multi-window, data capture, palm swipe to capture, dual messenger, you can use 2 separate Facebook Messenger accounts on the same device, SOS messages, direct share, video enhancer, and smart switch to switch from older device to this one. We move even further, let's see what else we have here. So device maintenance, there is battery, performance mode, storage, memory, and device security. Here you have your malware scanner, which is not bad to have nowadays with all those Bitcoin miners, and performance mode with optimized gain, entertainment, and high performance. So it depends on what you want to get out of the phone, you will get it from here. Now it's time to talk about the security, because there's nothing else left here. Lock screen and security. Something new is intelligent scan, which combines face and iris scanning for better results. You can register the face separately, iris separately, or the fingerprint scanner separately. And as you can see, the fingerprint scanner has been moved from the side to below the camera. Since the novelty is the intelligent scan, I'm going to go ahead and set it up for you. Continue. Security with a pin, of course. Done. Okay, face registration, let's go. That was fast. Okay, now the iris scanning will begin. Should be trickier than the face one, although not that tricky in the end. Open wide, iris is registered, and voila, we are done. I would say that the setup process was quite fast, and now it's time to close the phone and unlock it with my face. Let's try again. You can see this lighting up here, the sensor, the infrared one, and I have to say this feels faster than what the iPhone X is offering, so take that iPhone. Okay, now if you want the fingerprint scanner, first of all, let's remove the actual settings right now. Okay, swipe, remove data. I'm very happy with intelligent scan, it's a nice feature, even compared to the iPhone X's Face ID. Once again, it's faster in setup and also faster in unlocking, although just like Face ID, it requires to have a pretty bright environment. Fingerprint scanner right here, below the camera. Very fast setup, and this time Samsung recommends you swipe on it, not just tap it. You can touch to try it out. Okay, fingerprint was recognized, done, and let's see how fast it works. You can even touch it as a joke, touch it a bit, and it unlocks. Let's try again, and 90 degrees, Of course, 180 degrees recognized as well. Not very comfy, but a bit comfier than what we saw last year to the side. Okay, let's see what else we have here. So we should also have a secure folder somewhere. And the pre-installed apps list includes 40 names, quite a few. Among them we find the Galaxy apps, which is Samsung's classical app store, which you've come to know or maybe even love. Okay, we go back, see what else. We got the Microsoft apps for productivity, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneDrive, LinkedIn. There's the Play Store, YouTube, Maps, Google, Chrome, Gmail, Facebook. There's also messages and gallery. And in gallery, at some point, you have something called memories or something like that, or better said, stories. So you can create a story from one of your days and remember it through the most exciting stuff. Got clock, contact, settings, calendar, secure folder, as I said before, Duo. There's smart things. You can use this one as a hub to control your smart objects around the house, your smart vacuum, your smart coffee maker, your speakers, etc. Samsung Health is still in the mix. It counts your steps, measures your pulse, shows you a leaderboard, gives you achievements, stress, oxygen meter, pulse, running, tracking stuff. You can put in the food you eat. And by the way, Bixby also recognizes calories. You got Samsung Gear here, Samsung Members, Samsung Notes. You can use this one, take notes, and it even includes a pen and brush option to draw and scribble stuff with various colors and choices, some better than others. Okay, we're done. We can even add voice to the notes, discard, and that's pretty much it. Then the other usual apps, Samsung Teams, Bixby Vision, and that's about it in the apps section. Okay, so we are done with the review at last. A very long review. We like to do things in depth, and as such is now time for the verdict related to the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. Now, on the pro side, we have an excellent camera, a sexy design for sure. I love especially the lilac version. Sadly, we only have the black one. It's a compact phone for a 6.2 incher. It's got high performance, pretty bright screen, also a very immersive display. The sound was loud and clear for the songs and movies. I would have to say that the video playback time of the battery is quite good. Also the AR emoji is cute, and I love the fact you can send yourself as an emoji via text message or whatever chats you're going to use. Super slow motion is fun, still a gimmick but fun, and the low light capture was actually fantastic, and the fact we have a pro mode, such a complex pro mode, is appreciated. And face unlock surprisingly is faster and more efficient in my view than what Apple is offering on the iPhone X. Those are the pros. Now on the cons side, let's talk about the cons a bit. So the selfies were underwhelming. I would have to say that the battery, continuous usage, PC mark could have been better. Also, Bixby still doesn't impress. Also, Bixby Vision sometimes hits and misses. I would have to say that the black version of the phone draws fingerprints at the back side and also some dirt. The fingerprint scanner placement still not very inspired. The decibel meter showed us less than impressive value during our tests, and here you can see some of the features from Oreo. Anyway, back to the cons. We have quite a few apps pre-installed on the phone. The headphones felt inferior to the Apple AirPods, and the video capture had some unrealistically blue hues. Now, these are the pros and cons. Let's talk about the final verdict. Frankly speaking, if I were to buy this phone or the Galaxy Note 8, I would go with this one, because me, as a regular user, I do not need the S Pen for sure. And somehow this phone feels comfier than the Galaxy Note 8, even though it's basically just as narrow as that one. I find it to be better suited for my hand, the S9 Plus. Plus, we have this dual camera which feels a bit evolved from the Note 8, especially in the low light capture. It's comfier, captures a huge amount of details in the pictures. I was totally stunned. I actually expected, but not at this level, so I'm impressed. We got two speakers this time, one at the bottom, one at the top, so that's a novelty people have been requesting for a while now. And let's see what else. We also have a recommendation. If you have the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, you can hold on to it with ease. If you have a Galaxy S7 Edge, you can certainly upgrade to the S9 Plus without any cause for concern. And once again, me as a regular user, I would skip the Note 8 and go to the S9 Plus. I'm loving the hardware, loving the software. AR Emoji is cute. You can live without it. You can live without AR Emoji. You can live without bokeh, slow-mo, and even the speakers, because they're not as loud as we heard before according to the decibel meter. But in the end, with all of them combined, you get a phone that's an upgrade from at least the generation from 2 years ago. If you have the S8 Plus, hold on to it. If you want a phone that's better than the S7 generation, this is the one to get, skipping all the other S8, A8, Note 8 generations. So in a nutshell, this is a pro camera user phone, not exactly a business phone, more of a media phone. Thanks to the immersivity of the screen, you'll be totally happy with the video consumption, among other things. Okay, so that's about it in a nutshell. From gsm.com, this has been the review of the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. If I were to give it a grade, it would be something like 9.3 out of 10. This is it from us. Bye bye.